Shalom, and welcome once again to another episode of Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. Today's topic is entitled, "And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation." And that's from the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter and the 2nd verse. And I'm going to let the brother read it.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors.
And that's us right now. That's what we're doing right now. Now, after you finish that, I want you to go immediately to Isaiah, the 13th chapter, and start from the top. But read that again from the top.
It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors."
Exactly, because that represents us. And then you got other Israelite groups out there too that are following us, all right? We'll be out there on the highways and the byways cursing this damn devil out. And you got all the different GMS camps where Israel is, in this country and in different parts around the world. And they're coming out there bold too. Read that one more time.
It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him."
Now, who has afflicted us? The so-called white man. We're not going into Chinese neighborhoods. Where you ever see a camp down there in Chinatown? Whether it be Chinatown in New York, Chinatown in, General Yohana went to Chinatown in Washington. All right? We ain't all up in the Chinese, the Moabite face cursing them out, because number one, most of them don't speak English. Number two, they're not the number one enemy. The one that afflicted us, even though all those nations afflicted us, what nation are we being afflicted by right now? Esau. Read that again.
It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him."
Before the face of such that have afflicted him. How was we afflicted by this? Because a cracker come up and say, "Well, what do we do to you?" They forget about history. They don't study history. You got slavery, hardcore slavery, and then after slavery, you set up the KKK, and then it was worse when you set up after post-slavery, because you were going out there taking jakes and then hanging them and then burning them on crosses, man, castrating them. That was after slavery. Give me that in what's that, Ezekiel 35. So you are the ones that afflicted us. You are the ones that are afflicting us even to this day. Like they had a thing on Barack Obama. He been the president for a little bit more than 2.5 years, and they noticed how the unemployment. They've been talking about the unemployment rate at 9.1% and all that, but now they're focusing on blacks now. Israelites, and they said the unemployment rate among blacks is almost 17%. So now you got these blacks that voted him into office or voted for him to get into office. They're starting to see the light. They're starting to say, "Well, this guy ain't did shit for us, man." Matter of fact, the unemployment rate was lower when Bush was in office for 8 years. So now you simple-minded, bird-brained Negroes, you starting to see the light. You ain't talking so proud about Barack Obama no more. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 35 and 5. "Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel."
And it's specifying the children of Israel. Who did this? Esau. Go ahead.
"And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword."
By the force of the sword, when you took us down. How did we come over here to serve slavery? We were brought over here against our will. They didn't go over to so-called Africa and say, we need some volunteers to build up America. You know, we can't pay you, but if you want to do it, you get a good skill. No, that didn't happen. They took us by force. And it's all recorded in the scriptures. That's why you so-called, you Edomites, you white people, you make books calling yourself trying to break down the Bible. Now all these scriptures that, like Joel the 3rd chapter, who else can it be in Holed 2 on deck? Who else can that be talking about? Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Who else can that be talking about? Like you got these clowns that used to be down with Comfy, KOC the Ape, and Shrek, Marksman they call them, and they had made a video. They put it up, but then they took it back down, and they had this other guy from Philly. He calls himself the General. All right. Anyway, it was a guy that called himself the General, and another guy that I don't recognize his face. That they were all a part of Comfy's little group of minions, or part of Comfy's motley crew, and they all broke off. So one of the guys, I don't remember exactly which one, because they had put it up for maybe 2 days, and they took it down. 2 or 3 days maybe. And one of the guys said, yeah, they're teaching that they're the Israelites, and they can't even, there's no evidence on that. Well, what is Deuteronomy the 28th chapter talking about? What is Joel the 3rd chapter talking about? And then when you go to any of these guys' sites, like if you go to KOC KOC the Great, which I call him KOC the Ape, you know how they give the information where you work at, where do you live? I live in the USA. I live in this town or whatever. What are your favorite movies? Blah blah blah. And then they'll give you like interest, music, books, or whatever. And there's the whole lineup of all these different books. And when you check out these books, they're all books written by so-called white people. Now, I didn't go and check each and every book, because you might make a video and say, wait a minute, there's 2 books that black guy, but I bet you guarantee them 2 black guys, if they wrote books, they learned from the white man. Where did they get their school? Well, I went to Georgetown and I did my doctorate. Yeah, you got it from the fucking white man. So that's what these guys are all about. They want to follow their God, the God of this world, which is Esau. All right, go ahead.
Other white meat. Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
And when did this happen? When did this take place? Go ahead.
In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Their iniquity having an end was when Abraham Lincoln set forth the Emancipation Proclamation. Go ahead.
It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood.
Who's the Lord going to prepare unto blood? You Edomites. Because I look at you damn crackers every damn day, and you don't have the look of guilt on you. You know, if you did something wrong, if you took something, if you robbed something, you're going to have a look of guilt on your face. If you committed a lot of crimes, you're gonna have the look of guilt. You crackers go around like you ain't did nothing wrong, that you're the greatest people. And when you go to other countries and you drop bombs on them, like Afghanistan and Iraq and soon to be Iran and Pakistan, it's all about we're helping you. How the fuck you gonna help somebody when you're dropping bombs on them, when you're raping their women, when you're killing their kids? You did that in the Nam, man. Oh, we're going to bring them democracy. You going over there to destroy people, man. And the whole world, like last night, it was on Euro News. You can't watch that bullshit on CNN and all the Fox News. That's all a big joke. It's all a big joke. For you stupid asses that watch, well, I watch it just to see what stupidity they're going to bring out. You know? But anyway, it was on the Euro News last night that they showed there was a wall put up to block the Israeli embassy. Now, those people that you devils said that they were rioting because they wanted Mubarak out of there. Well, he'd been out for what, about 4 or 5 months already? So why in the hell all of a sudden you trying to bring down a damn wall to attack the Israeli embassy? And it said last night that the I guess the ambassador left of Israel to